Hello, my soul success sisters, and welcome to day 3 of our meditation and manifestation challenge. We are halfway through. Woo, girls! A lot going on this week. As you are hopping on, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from and one word that you are feeling at this very moment as we are halfway through our 5 days of magic. Okay, so as you're logging on, if you have an accountability partner, make sure to tag that person. And I'll just do a quick recap of what we've covered the past 2 days, set an intention for today. We'll get into our meditation, and then we'll dive right into our manifestation activities. Okay, so day 1 was all about identifying. Identifying what is our vision? What is joy to us? What lights us up? What do we want to co-create together? Yesterday was all about shadow work. We were able to target that naysayer in our head, F you, Nan. And we were able to target and identify those limiting beliefs that are getting in the way of co-creation. Hi, Christine. Good morning. How is it over there in Salmon? I bet it's freezing. It's so cold here. So yesterday was all about shadow work. We had a surprise visit from the Greek goddess Metis, who reminded us that there are definitely powers that can take over us, and to remind us to really stand into our own power instead of dimming our light. So that was yesterday. It was very deep. It was deep, and it was also just the beginning of us building the muscle of identifying that ego mind that is never going to go away. It's always going to be there, but at least now we have the tools to identify it, and we know that that conversation is a lie. Good morning, Lorena. How are you? Okay. I just want to remind you guys that this week only I'm offering a one-on-one session. I know a lot of you are wanting to dive deep. Again, this work is just scratching the surface. So if you feel called to, I'll post a link in here and we can schedule a time for you and I to dive deep into your shadows, dive deep into your light, dive deep into your light. And that is what today is all about, is really declaring those statements that empower us, right? We're going to create a mantra today, which if you already have one today, you might reevaluate if that mantra is in alignment with your vision. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. So as we get started, we are going to do a quick meditation. So go ahead and close your eyes, palms faced up, and notice the breath. Anchoring the mind to the breath. So if your mind is starting to get noisy, instead of pushing those thoughts away, if Nan is talking to you, if your ego is loud, instead of trying to shove those thoughts in the corner, just imagine creating space. That's all you can do. Create space in between those thoughts. Notice the texture of your breath, how good it feels to know that you are alive. You are here, and that is a gift. You could be anywhere, but you made the decision to be here. And that says something about you. As you're breathing, I'd like you to imagine if the feeling of joy was a person or an experience, what does that look like to you? What does joy feel like? Smell like? Sound like? How does it feel in your body when you are joyful? How do you be when you are in joy? Go ahead and smile. Reminding yourself not to take yourself too seriously. Reminding yourself to have fun. To have fun. It's a choice to have fun in every moment, in every decision you make. You can actually have fun. So the next time you breathe in the experience of joy. And the next time you breathe out all of the resistance, all of the ego, all of the distractions, all of the noise. Breathe it out. When you're ready, blink the eyes open. Lorena, I am amazing today. I am so grateful to be here today! Exclamation point. Fuck yeah, sister. It's a great day. And that's exactly it. That is exactly it. Making the decision. Making the decision to find joy in everything that we do. Okay, so today we are going to make a list of our empowering statements. And before we do that, I want to have this conversation around joy. I want to dive deep into what was that meditation just like for you? And what's coming up? Are you finding that the ego is like, you can't be joyful, you have all these things happening in your life trying to manipulate you? Okay, so earlier on we talked about the wounds of our inner child and the trauma that we carry as adults because we haven't identified the conversations that we're having. We haven't identified or had a conversation with some of the trauma. And so I want to talk about trauma just for a quick second because I think a lot of us say, well, I don't have any trauma. I don't have any trauma. I have a great life. Nothing bad's ever happened to me. And I think we tend to get into like the comparison mode, like this person has more trauma than us, therefore we're not still feeling the weight of our past. And I know I've definitely played that game where I'm like, well, this person just, lost a loved one. Who am I to talk about trauma? I've never really experienced it. The word literally means wound. It means wound. And so as humans, we're in trauma all the time. We're in trauma all the time. Okay. Not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but I'm trying to actually empower you that that's part of shadow work. What we did yesterday and really identifying those conversations that are manipulating us, that are taking us away, that are taking our power away from us, that's part of trauma. Okay. So now that we've identified that, we've identified a lot of the conversations again that manipulate us, we're able to then identify some of the relationships that we have in our life that are taking our power away. So today is all about sovereignty, is all about tapping into our authority and really standing firm on the ground as feminine female leaders. That sounded redundant, but I just want to say it again because I think you can be a masculine female leader. But today we're talking about the divine feminine. We're talking about really owning our inner guru and listening, paying attention to how do things feel, right? How do things feel for me? Does this feel good? Does this relationship with this person feel good? Or am I feeling a little bit manipulated? Okay. And not that everyone's trying to manipulate us, but I think every conversation, there's somebody that has power, there's somebody that doesn't. There can be, it's like, the Libra, like the scales. It's like, does this conversation take my power away? Or am I really standing firm? Right? And so let's look at the relationships, not only that we have with other people, but that we have specifically today with ourselves. Because we're all in a committed relationship with ourselves, and it could be very toxic. Some of the things that we say to ourselves are not empowering, they're very manipulative. Hi, Tamra. So great to see you here live. Good morning, sister friend. Okay. So what we're going to do is tap into, go back to those limiting beliefs that we recognized on day one, and we're going to contradict them with empowering statements. Okay? I know this work for some of us is like a little bit like, oh, I don't know if I feel this, I don't know if I feel that. It's building the muscle. It's building the muscle. Okay? So go ahead and go back to those limiting beliefs. And for every single limiting belief, you are going to contradict it with an empowering statement. So grab your guidebook. And mine was right here, and now it's not. Hold on one second. Good old guidebook. Go ahead and grab your guidebook, and you're going to look at day one. Every single limiting belief that you had, you're going to contradict. So, for example, if your limiting belief was something like a very common one that I get from clients is the imposter syndrome one. I'm not worthy enough. I'm not deserving enough. I shouldn't be here. I need more education. You're going to contradict that with an empowering statement. Okay, so for the one with I need more education, you could say something like, my experience has brought me to this point and allowed me and granted me the tools to empower other people based on my experience. If your limiting belief is something like, I am not worthy or deserving, you can say something like, I am worthy, I am deserving. Everything that I have done has brought me to this moment right here where I have the ability to impact other people. I have the ability to stand in my power. I am more than enough. If you've said something like, I've tried this before and failed, so I'm afraid that this time will be the same for me, you can replace it with a statement like, all of my failures and everything I have learned has set me up to succeed in this very moment. Every lesson I have learned has brought me to this moment right here, right here. If you said something like, there are too many people who are doing what I'm doing, so no one else needs my help, you can say, replace it with, the gifts I offer are unique and only I possess. People really need my help right now. Okay? So, what is coming up for you guys? Imposter syndrome was my first one. Yeah. Welcome to the club, sister. Imposter syndrome is very manipulative. I think it's one of the most manipulative, how do I describe it? One of the most manipulative things I've ever seen when working with my clients is people feel like they're imposters. And remember, some of the clients that I work with are, doctors. They have PhDs or a master's degree. And they still come to me and they're like, do I need more education? I'm not really sure. Okay, so it's not just you, Tamara. It's literally the most powerful thing that's dimming people's light. So go ahead and pop your empowering statements in the comments, because when you speak it out into existence, you're declaring to the universe and to yourself that you're done with this shit. You're tired of being manipulated. And you're ready to really stand firm in your power. So post it in the comments. Don't forget to tag your accountability partners when you do that. And this is building the muscle of listening to our intuition. Because do you notice how good it feels when you say things like this and you actually feel it? And I'm not talking about saying something and not feeling it. I'm talking about really feeling the experience of your empowerment, of your inner authority, of your sovereignty. So we're building the muscle of using discernment when it comes to our intuition. We know when Nan's talking and when Nan's like, Megan, you're an imposter. You should stop talking. You don't know. Go get more education and more degrees. You need more training. And I'm not saying that education and degrees are bad. I have a master's degree and I have millions of certifications in different modalities. But it got to the point where I felt like if I wanted to be the authority, I had to go and get more education in order to coach people. Your personal experience is probably enough to empower somebody else who desperately needs to hear your story. Lorena says, my first one is, there are so many other women doing the same thing. Yep, that's a good one. So how do you replace that? Okay. My gifts are unique and only I possess. People really need my help right now. I love that. That is an empowering statement that I continue to, I think I've been using that one for at least over a year. And it's true. Because yes, there might be somebody else who does what you do and they might have more years of experience, they might be making more money, they might have more degrees. But Lorena, there is a story inside of you that is very unique to you that will speak to a unique population who really need to hear your story, not the story of the person with more degrees and more experience. There are people who are only going to relate to you and what you've been through. So as you stand in this empowering statement, I really invite you to own your unique story. Because stories, my good friend, my book coach, Sarah Cannell, is always saying stories have the ability to change lives and not to save lives, to save lives. And that is what happened to her. Reading books changed her life. Reading books from, um, um, Abraham Hicks and Joe Dispenza and Gabby Bernstein literally saved her life. And many other women that I work with have said the same thing. Tamara, my experience is great and I have the tools to empower others and I'm always still learning, which is wonderful. I am leading by example. Beautiful. Christine, everything I've learned has brought me to this moment. I am worthy and deserving to stand in my power. You guys are going to make me cry. I love this. And even more than that is it is the key to living my joy. Beautiful. Okay, so what's coming up for you? So you're either going to say, 1, I feel very aligned with this message. 2, it feels good and I'm still having resistance. Or 3, I feel really joyful and I feel completely aligned with my empowering statement. Okay, so either 1, 2, or 3. Post it in the comments. If you're feeling a little bit disconnected, it's okay. It's okay. This work is not something where you have a huge breakthrough in the snap of your fingers. It takes time. It takes time. And so I really want to remind you to be compassionate, be patient when it comes to this. Again, not with everything in life, but when it comes to this, give yourself some grace that this is a process and the magic is in the unfolding. It's just like when I teach yoga classes, I always tell my students that it's not about the pose, it's not about getting into splits or a handstand. It's about the grit and also the grace that it takes to be able to investigate layers about yourself that you never did before because you got uncomfortable, because you fell a couple of times. You were the only one in class who tried a handstand when everybody else was playing it safe. You fell over, you made a lot of noise, everybody looked at you and they thought, wow, that's amazing. She tried it, right? And you can give yourself a pat on the back because you're taking the steps that are uncomfortable. You're learning how muscles work. You're learning where your weakness is and the parts of your body and your soul that you really get to nurture. That's what this is all about. It's not about arriving, it's about the journey. Hi, Dana. Okay, lots of 2s. Good. I find if I don't ask, I don't know. And every day I find more power through this. I had a very powerful connection just yesterday. Oh, do tell. Falling means I get right back up. There was a story that one of my amazing dear friends and clients, Perry Jones Grossman, talked about at the Soul Success virtual retreat, which, by the way, tickets are free right now. They're going to go up to $100. TheSoulSuccess.com. You can grab your free ticket right now. And it's like this, but live. It's in March. And you get direct coaching on Zoom with all of us. But she talked about, I think, one of the most memorable moments at the last summit or retreat in September was a story that she was telling about how she was on the board of directors for the Special Olympics, and one of the athletes who was supposed to be the favorite was in a race, and she kept running and running and running, and something happened with her shoes, like they kept falling off. And she kept tripping. And she kept falling. And meanwhile, all of her competitors were beating her. And she didn't win. She actually came in dead last. But she kept tripping and she kept getting up. And she ran over to Perry and she had a huge smile on her face. And Perry is ready to, console her. She thought she was going to cry. And she said, "Did you see me get up? Did you see what happened when I got up?" I have goosebumps. I'm about to cry right now. as adults, we're so hard on ourselves. We're so hard on ourselves, and we only look at the failures. We forget the magic is when we get up. So when she told that story, everybody at the retreat was crying. I still have goosebumps. I think we get to remember who we are. We're not the perfection. We're not the person who always gets first place. We're not the favorite all the time. We're the person who forgot to tie her shoes, or her shoes were too big and kept falling but kept getting up. And we get to celebrate that version of ourselves that always gets up, even when we're dirty, even with bumps and bruises. Oh, hi, Kristen. So happy to see you here. Okay, mine would be fear of stepping out of my comfort zone. My empowered statement is I'm a strong woman, and no matter what happens, I got this, and I'm confident in facing my fears to better myself. Beautiful. Failure leads to more opportunity, to new opportunities. Oh man. How did that story land for you guys? What are your thoughts? All right. So as you're typing in the comments, we are going to create a mantra. We're going to create a mantra based on your empowering statements. Okay? So we've already done a lot of work in the past 28 minutes. We went back to the lies that we've told ourselves on day one. We did our meditation. We replaced those lies with empowering statements. And now we're going to create a mantra so that we're no longer manipulated. Right now, we're shedding the manipulation and giving power, momentum to those empowering statements through mantra. Because I don't know about you, but I know for me, repeating all of my empowering statements every single day just isn't realistic. A mantra is something that's so simple. It could take a few seconds. It could take a few hours to really dive in, but it's something that repetition is the key to mastery. And when you have a mantra that can fuel you, it's going to create momentum towards what it is that you desire. Okay, so once I realized that I was living my life in scarcity, I never had enough money, even when I was making, I think at that point, $13,000 a month. I still was broke. Like, I was breathing scarcity. I was eating scarcity. I was, everything that I did, every conversation was, Nan was scarcity behind me. And once I realized that, abundance became my mantra. All of my empowering statements had to do with abundance. I began to eat abundance. I began to sleep abundance. Every day I would wake up. I would breathe in abundance. That was my mantra for 3 years. 3 years. Okay? So today, based on your empowering statements, you're going to sum it up into a mantra. And this could be your theme. If your theme is really in alignment with what you desire. Tamara, I can relate to that so much. Yes. I think most of us, ego fuels scarcity. So does abundance feel like a good mantra for you? Or do you have something else? So once Abundance and I, it was like Abundance and I were in this committed relationship, and anytime scarcity would come up, aka Nan, aka ego, I'd be like, okay, thanks scarcity, like, but I've got a lot going on right now. There's more than enough money in the world. There are more than enough people to help. There are more than enough opportunities. There are more than enough people in my life who believe in my mission and want to lock arms with me. There are more than enough people in my life who love me. There are more than enough people in my life who, or in the world, who could potentially be my next partner. Okay, so that's an example of empowering statements turned into mantra. So in the comments, go ahead and post your mantra. And as you are doing that, I am just going to send a message. What are your mantras? Post it in the comments. So it could be love, it could be abundance, it could be trust, it could be authority. If you realize that you've been so manipulated by something that happened in the past or by people around you, authority can be your mantra. Peace can be your mantra. Patience can be your mantra. There are so many words. We can even go into Sanskrit if that's what you want, but today we're going to stick with English. It does not have to be one word. What do you have for me? I think it should be something, Tamara, that is short enough that you can repeat over and over and over again. So the reason why I like to break up the empowering statements into a mantra is it can get really exhausting to recite a poem to yourself 50 times a day. There are gifts all around me. Beautiful. Abundance. Abundance for me. It will work for more than the financial side for me. Yes. Because one thing you'll notice is if we're feeling scarcity in one area of our life, often it can bleed into other areas in our life. When we're so conditioned to feel lack mentality, then, scarcity of money can also bleed into scarcity of opportunity or scarcity in meaningful connections and relationships. Lorena, patience, but I won't wait in line. Yeah, patience is a funny one. I did not like that word for a long time because what I noticed it was almost like spiritual bypassing, like getting people off the hook of manifesting because they're like, oh, I just got to be patient. I just got to wait for the right time. And it turned into an excuse. But if patience empowers you to trust the process and the journey, it can be a very empowering thing. So just make sure that patience comes from an empowered lens instead of an opportunity for excuse. My mantra is patient confidence. Yes, that feels right. Good. Okay. So what we're going to do, because I have a client in about 5 minutes, is we are going to do a short meditation to, as an example, this is something that I invite you to do every single day, even before you get out of bed. You're going to meditate your mantra so that you're starting your day empowered and in alignment. Okay, so go ahead and close your eyes. Palms faced up. And smile. Feel the inhalations enter the body through the nose. Breathing into the lungs. As you exhale, feel that constriction in the back of the throat, the Ujjayi breath. Feel the sit bones rooted into the earth, grounding to Mother Earth, lengthening through the spine, soften the shoulders. And as you lengthen the spine, I want you to imagine the crown of your head opening, creating a portal to the divine, to spirit, to whatever word resonates with you for higher consciousness. And as you breathe in, I want your mantra to take its own life form. It's a personality. It's an energy body. Feeling your mantra enter your body through the crown of the head. Expanding into your heart chakra. Go ahead and place your hands on your heart. And as you breathe in, you're going to repeat your mantra. And as you exhale, you're going to shed anything that is getting in the way of you embodying your mantra. Repeating your mantra with each inhale. Feeling the heart press into your hands with each inhalation. Feeling the weight of your own limitations release with each exhale. Let's take 3 more slow breaths. Completing our mantra. That mantra is light force energy that will fuel you towards everything that you desire. It will always be there for you, even in the darkest of times. Okay, when you're ready, blink the eyes open. Whew! It was like I could feel all of your energy through the computer. That was beautiful. I am sending you all so much love. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your collective energy, your contribution to this community. And share in the comments what's coming up for you. If you would like something more personal, a more personal conversation, feel free to DM me. And I'm just going to post a link here, just since I mentioned it. It's in March 3rd to the 5th. Our next virtual retreat, this is our big event of the year. I know it's far away, but a lot of people have been asking me about it. So if you go to thesoulsuccess.com, you can learn more info about our live event. And if you'd like to book a one-on-one call with me, I will also post a link to that as well. If you would like more personal mentoring and coaching, we can dive deeper together. So I will post a link to that as well. So I love you all so much. Enjoy your day. We're getting deep. And then tomorrow is Thursday, so we've passed the halfway hump. Tomorrow is really about building the muscle and turning on our emotional thermometer. So we've got some juicy stuff coming your way, and I will see you all tomorrow. Mwah! Have a beautiful day.